Hello and welcome to Gar1onriva's Bottom 5s. Today I'm going to be talking about my bottom 5 Pokémon Gen 5 features. I've already gone through my top features list, which will be linked at the end and in the description. Overall, I really enjoyed Gen 5, but it wasn't perfect. Here are the additions to Gen 5 that I disliked the most. 3 things to remember. First of all, these are my personal opinions, so please don't tell me I'm wrong. Second thing is, if you disagree with my opinions, that's fine, but keep it polite. The third is there are mild spoilers for the Gen 5 games. Number 5. One-Dimensional Characters. This was something I noticed a lot in both Black and Black 2. A lot of characters seem to have a single personality trait that they just run into the ground. This is the mild spoilers I mentioned, as I'll be stating what these traits are. In Black and White, Geran's sole motivation is being stronger. And it also annoyed me how he constantly referred to Alda as the champion, even when he knew the guy's name. His rank was all that Geran cared about. Bianca wasn't as one note in the first games, but she seemed to reiterate the same things a lot. The rival in the sequels constantly talked about the purloin and getting stronger. Even when you beat him, he'd still sort of refer to you as someone who needs to get stronger still. And Bianca again in the sequels didn't seem to have much going on, but at least she showed some character development. Finally, like 90% of the pedestrians in Unova talked about Pokeballs in the sequels. I know this is after Plasma made them consider the role of Pokeballs in society, but would everyone still be talking about it 2 years later? Number 4. Entering Building Zoom. This was a small detail that annoyed me every time. This is the thing where you enter a building and the view zooms in slightly on the doorway before loading the building. I don't know if this was to mask it loading the interior or what, but it bugged the hell out of me. It felt slow and obnoxious, especially when you enter a building from a direction other than below and it just zooms in on a blank wall. Very small thing, but it annoyed me throughout both games. Number 3. Artificial Progression. In previous gens, you needed gym badges to use HMs outside of battle. This gave them an easy way to limit how far you could travel because you needed the badge to cut down that tree or smash that rock that blocked your way. For some reason, they changed this so you don't need a specific badge to use the HM field moves. Granted, this makes more sense in Universe, but it left them having to find other ways to stop you from moving on without the badge. They resorted to having someone stand in the way, saying come back later. Every time. This cave has collapsed. This road is blocked. This bridge is being worked on. It felt incredibly obvious that it was artificial progression stopping. Yeah, the HMs did the exact same job, but it never felt as obvious as this. Number 2. Triple battles. This one is gonna be divisive, I know it. I hated triple battles. Luckily, I was playing Black and Black 2 where the focus was on rotation battles instead. For me, triple battles had too much going on. You had to track which moves hit which Pokemon, where your Pokemon are stood, the speeds of 6 different battling Pokemon and all of their type advantages and weaknesses. I avoided them wherever possible. Maybe this is a battle type that appeals to certain people, but it only annoyed me. Rotation battles felt more controlled, as it was a game about predicting when they'd rotate their Pokemon so that you could know when to rotate yours and which moves to use. If rotation battles are like poker, triple battles are just throwing cards at each other. And finally, number 1. So many pointless things. This used to be 3 separate issues that each came lower in the list, but then I realised my issues with them were all the same. When I grouped them together, suddenly they deserved to be top of the list. Every Pokemon game has pointless things in it, but the amount of pointless things has increased with each generation. Playing Black 2 in particular, I kept finding more and more pointless places, rooms and offices. Each one was for a separate sub-game within Pokemon: the Sea Gear office, the Game Sync office, the Medal office, the Passerby office, Join Avenue, the movie studio. I saw absolutely zero reason to do any of that stuff, and it being there was just clutter and a waste of time. Each generation of Pokemon adds more and more clutter, and some of it sticks around into the next game. I hope that Black 2 represents a peak of clutter, and that future generations cut back on this sort of thing. And that is it for my list. Please comment below with your least favourite Gen 5 features, as well as suggestions for future top or bottom 5s. Remember that you can vote for next month's top 5 by pledging to my Patreon linked in the description. Also check out my top 5 Gen 5 features list if you haven't seen that, and that is linked at the end and in the description. Thank you very much, and I will catch you later.